Hey everybody, good morning. I'm back on terra firma. It's a balmy 10 degrees out this morning and it's 10 a.m. That's synchronicity. So I just thought I'd make a quick video and bring you guys along for the day. I got my Japanese bushcraft equipment with me. It's been a long time since I've been in Japan, but I'm going to break it in today and I look forward to it. What I like about it is it allows me to leave no trace. And this is probably one of my favorite woodlands to walk in. And I'm really excited at the prospect of being able to have a fire and leave no mark on the landscape. But I thought I'd share a quick tip while I'm walking, and maybe a few quick tips while I'm out, so this video is somewhat enjoyable, and maybe some bushcraft will accidentally happen. But when you get out of your car, it's always good to take note of the time, you know. So it's like I said, it's just a little after 10 a.m. the sun is rising and I'm about to hit a trail. So it's always nice to take note of where the sun is when you're walking, just in case you happen to get turned around really quick. So I get out of my car, the sun is just in front of me now. So if I stay walking and I get a bit turned around, if I want to head back to my car, all I got to do is turn at 180 degrees, keep the sun in my back, and I'll get to where I'm going. So it's always nice to keep a mental note, or if you have a journal, of where the sun might be. Plus, because it's 10 a.m. and we know the sun hasn't reached its zenith yet, we know it's risen at a 45-degree angle, roughly at a 45-degree angle there. So you can take note of where it meets the horizon, and you'll know that roughly that's east. And you can stand and do the whole cool east-west line with your shadow, which maybe you can do a bit of research on and look a bit more in depth. But if you got your east-west line, well, then you know northerly and southerly. You can take a quick mental note of that. Again, it's just clocking up all the variables. So I hope you enjoyed the walk with me today and having a quick spot at lunch, and I'll check back in a minute. Power lines. Not prevalent everywhere, but again, like I said, we're compiling our mental data. Ooh, I think I got some birds in the bush there. But once you got like a natural backstop like this, you can set it up, and that way you're never really lost. Even if you're not following the sun and you're following your compass and stuff, you can see something like this is man-made. It'll run a straight line. These are low voltage lines, so they either run to a town or they'll run to a town in that direction, so you can also follow them. But if you know that they're on the map, or if you know that they're here, just like the sun, I'm walking, so I know that these power lines are on my left. So if I need to head back up the trail, I can keep the power lines on my right. Or if I'm exploring an area and I can see on a map, a well-built ordnance map, that there is a power line running through here, and you can download those type of things. If I set off from the car and I decide to walk a straight line through the forest, once I know that this is my backstop, I may have missed the spot that I'm walking to here, but once I hit this, I'm still not lost. I know I've just gone a little too far, so I can turn around again with the sun on my left, put the sun on my right and the power lines behind me, and I can head back to where I need to go. So again, it doesn't always have to be natural. Sometimes you can get a man-made backstop like that, and backstops are another very interesting one. So after crossing directly under my power lines and just making a mental note of that backstop, again still on a pretty decently marked trail, but just in case I got turned around in the hedgerow, the next thing I'm looking out for is tinder. So you can see here behind me that we got some dried ferns, some thistle that's just after coming into bloom. And what you're looking for, especially in a place like Ireland where it's pretty damp, is you can see here that this place is getting the sun all morning. The sun is shining in on me directly, as you can see by my shadow here. So rather than collecting stuff on the far side of the road, although it may look dry, it could still be damp from the morning. So spotting where the sun hits these, they'll be nice and dry come this time of the day. Here's some good ones on the ground here that I've been drying out. I can collect some of these for my fire, and these are nice and dry compared to, say, something in the shadows here like these, which will still be cold and damp. Yeah, you can see you're not getting that crumble. Still fairly cold. So again, always collecting stuff that you'll that you'll need in the wet. It's best collected in the dry, and always collect from the sunny side of the trail. I'm going to line my pockets now and get back moving. Ooh, sunny side tinder for days. Got to be careful when handling these ferns. I actually have a pretty big scar on the back of my hand. I'm collecting these during a class in Sweden, and they cut me up bad. This boy could be useful. Let's see what we can do. Natural voices. Now, so we got our tall stick, which I'm just going to pare down for a second. Again, takes no time at all. The thing that I'm going to do here is, again, just another natural navigation technique. You see, the problem is that the human body is designed to kind of walk in a circle. Not designed, but it's an inherent kind of feature, known as lateral drift. It happens when you're navigating without a compass, and that's usually what a compass is kind of, one of the best things about, is that it negates lateral drift, this walking in a circle. And it could be from just the terrain you're walking down. Maybe it's a bit of an incline. Maybe you've got one leg shorter than the other, or your pack is a little heavier on one side, or like me, you have a bad knee and you just naturally kind of favor that one side. So when you want to go exploring, you still want to walk in a straight line. So how do we counteract this lateral drift? Well, the way you do it is with a tall stick. Again, it took no time to make. But what you would do is line this bad boy up in front of you. Now again, you can still see the sun is in front of me, so I know kind of roughly where I'm going, time of the day, etc, etc. But what you would do then is plant your stick in the ground here in front of you in the direction you wish to travel, and then use it like a compass sight. So you can look across the top of it, you know, especially if you've got a rough east-west line, or you know you're walking in a northerly or southerly direction. And then just use that as your marker. Plant it between your feet, use it like a compass. This is a method that, you know, is used kind of all over kind of Sweden, kind of basic part of the Swedish compass. And then once you've got a point across the top of this, you know that that is where you want to walk. And then you leapfrog it, just like with a compass. You can drag the stick behind you, which is great, especially if you're in snow or dusty or sandy terrain. If you drag the stick behind you, you can see that you've walked in a straight line from your last point to the next point. So that's what I'm going to do now. You can also use this method if you want to go exploring, say like boxing, you know, or 1990, or 1990, cover the Celtic Tiger. But if you want to box your way around an area and you haven't got a compass, or you want to 90 your way around an area or an obstacle and you haven't got a compass, this method is also fantastic too, because you can plant your stick in the ground, shoot yourself to an object, walk 100, 200 paces. I tend to keep it small, especially if I'm navigating with kind of natural resources. 100 paces, and then you can turn 90 degrees like this, plant it in the ground, shoot to your next object, drag your stick along, walk to your next object, turn 90 degrees, plant, shoot, 90, plant, shoot, and eventually you will get back to where you're going. And we teach this at classes, and it has varying successes. It's great successes. Most people will end up kind of 4 or 5 meters either side of where they started if they do it correctly. So there you go, just another simple thing to learn while I'm out on my walk. Straight stick, keep you walking in a straight line. Check in a bit. I can hear water in the distance and I'm getting there. But there's something about walking through a quiet forest with a giant stick that makes you feel like Gandalf. I don't care how hardcore you are, you have to admit I'm right. So hopefully we're getting there towards one of my favourite spots. So kind of set up where I need to go. Got the cloakroom and all that set up, and it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Just smoothing it in the woods. Some of you may have seen this in my other videos, but this is that the Japanese bushcraft equipment that I carried. This is the little fire poker, and I got my tripod with me and my fire plate, which I'm really interested to try because this is such a beautiful area. It means a lot to me. This is kind of where I come to get the head square and enjoy life a bit. So I don't really like to damage this area with fire, but now that I got a fire plate, I'm going to build a little raised bed to keep it on, and then I'm going to light my fire in it, set up my tripod. I don't have to break any sticks, bar to gather kindling, which is all kind of dead wood anyway. Make myself a cup of coffee and just chillax by the river. So let's see how this goes. It's my first time trying it, so hopefully it should be good fun. Stick around. Also, feel a bit like James Bond when you're screwing all this stuff together. It's like when you change the batteries in the TV remote, you feel like a bit of a secret agent, so that's also nice, but bear with me. It's a nice little one for car camping, or if you have scouts, kids. I like this whole leave no trace business. This is very simple. Pointy end goes in the ground, top end goes in the tripod. I have to say it's pretty well engineered. I'm always weary of things like this, that when you get them, stuff don't tread right. Go. And then the last one. I think these tripods are made by Solo Stove. This is one of the first Solo Stove products that I've ever had. That's kind of interesting. Pretty widely available. So there we go. I think that's about high enough for what I need. About chest height. Should be able to get my fire pan safely under here. We do have 3 extra more legs if you want to raise it up. These are kind of 12-inch sections, so they'd be kind of 1 feet. So you can raise it up a little more. So that's the tripod setup. No time at all. Let's get the fire dish off the ground. My kingdom for a straight stick. The dilemma we find ourselves in. That's a nice Y branch, and I'm not really a fan of messing with Y branches. Straight sticks and Y branches, the woodsman's friend. There we go. Never cut what you can snap. Trying to roughly figure out where I want these to be. I know that my forearm is about 12 inches. It's always good to learn your body measurements, just so you can do stuff like that on the fly. Make a quick measurement. I no longer put massively round spikes on my things anymore. I find just 2 ones, because these help with tent pegs as well. If you put one flat side on it when you drive it into the ground, if it's round it'll go straight down, but if it's got this 45-degree angle, the further you drive it in, the more it'll kick out. So you know, I just fast and loose a couple of 45-degree angles. Place my knife there out of the way. There we go with you. Roughly about the same. Again, I don't like messing with live wood. I find that if it's already on the ground, Fair game. Not the straightest stick in the world, but it's only there to keep the dish off the ground. See if I got anything else to hand. Ooh, this should do. There I need it to be. The knife that I'm using today is the knife that Steve Armstrong gifted me in Sweden. The Jorn remake of a modern remake of a Swedish classic. I'm absolutely loving it. Kind of a mixture between a Fairbanks Sykes dagger and a old school Mora. Absolutely loving it though. Absolutely loving it. Wood scalpel, as usual from Steve. Hey, 3 sticks. Put you way up here. God bless cast iron. Perfect. Now, the really cool thing about this is that you can either work it with the fire grabber I got there, or you got this wee little toggle on top that you're able to pull up through. That's kind of roughly about where I want it. You take this stopper, slide it through, and it's adjustable. So I like that. That's a pretty nice setup. I don't think I'm going to damage the ground. Looks nice and stable. Try and build me a little fire and get some coffee on. Yeah, I apologise for the snap edit of this video, but it's I'm enjoying it. Another cool tip if you're out and about. This is kind of a riverbed here, so sometimes it overflows a little bit. Maybe this wood isn't too damp. Now when you do establish a fire, this is, by the looks of it, birch. You could burn that up nice and handy because of the oils in it and stuff, but you wouldn't need to establish a fire. Whereas here, let me turn you around. This is what you're looking for. Nature tends to do this stuff where if you're in a forest like this, it'll fall down. Always check the crooks of the trees, because you get beautifully dry, small material like this, especially great for a bird's nest up in the crook. You can take this, my fire stick with the hook on it, and you can pull it down, and it's nature provides. You don't have to smash anything up, you don't have to break anything. You got pre-made kindling that's kept high and dry off the ground. You can just go around collecting this from all the different crooks in the tree, like this guy over here. Just trying to remember where I left my fire stick. We got sticks all up in here, beautiful dry ones that are kept off the ground. You can hear that there, and they're hanging limbs. Again, I tend not to smash stuff like this off. If it's hanging in a tree, the way I look at it is Mother Nature provides. The sleepy goats of the stick world. Ooh, he's got friends. Come on, boys. So, nice handy one. Keep the eyes up. think that's us. Spread these out a bit. Get a bit of top up. Yeah. Let's try and get some eggs on. I say it's nice to be back dealing with some tough stuff at home, and like I was saying at the start of this video, and like Aidan Parry is always quick to point out, sometimes it's nice just to get out and get some good medicine, get some smoke going. See if we can get a good bed of coals going here. It's always one thing that scared me the most was cooking on camera. So this is the first. It's the first. Normally my diet consists of putting bread into anything that's Well, there you have it. I've never done these walk in the woods videos before, and my battery is kind of getting a bit low, and I ain't got my battery pack with me today, so I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up here before I start walking out. I never really know how to end kind of long saga videos like this. It's almost like trying to end an article. You've got your start and you got your middle with all the information that you want to get across, but it's kind of how you kind of wrap it up and tie everything together that really pulls it into place. So I don't really know how to end these long videos, which is usually why I try and avoid them and just put up my little snippets and stuff like that. But I suppose the only thing I can say is that hopefully in this video you get to see that I'm always out here learning and growing and enjoying nature and soaking up the good medicine that is the outdoors. Sorry, I'm just wrapping up my woodsman's closet here. But the one thing that I do love about coming out is it shows me again why I never really want to quit. You know, some days are hard. Today is easy. The sun is shining and my kids are in school. But yeah, I think that's how I'd like to end it. It makes me not quit. The Forest family, everybody on Living to Learn, all the people who follow and support me, and I hope I support you guys back as best I can, because I think if you quit, you just end up back to where you started, and ending up back where you started, you just left the place where you always just wanted to be. So there's no real point in quitting. You just got to keep moving forward. Every journey is measured in one footstep at a time, and I think if you don't quit and you keep falling forward, you'll always get to where you want to go. There's always skills to be practiced. There's always new parts to discover. I would never have found this place only for I wanted to make a video for you guys this time last year, and it's now become one of my favorite spots. So whatever's going on in your life, whether it's work or family or jobs or bank statements, don't quit. Don't quit, because you'll just end up back to where you were, and the place you left was where you wanted to be. So I hope you have a great time, Forest family, whatever it is you're doing this weekend. Summer's nearly over and we got more stress on the horizon, but as always, thanks for supporting me in everything I do, and I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.